Hey, thanks for tuning in to Austin Counseling and Trauma Specialists. I'm Russell Couch, and I'm here to talk today a little bit about the differences between different mental health professionals. There's lots of different professionals out there, and if you're looking for therapy or some sort of mental health help, there are lots of people to choose from. There are LPCs, which are licensed professional counselors. There are LCSWs, which are licensed clinical social workers. There are psychologists, there are psychiatrists, there's preachers and pastors. There are shamanic practitioners, there are life coaches, there are astrologers, and all kinds of things out there where you can turn to get different kinds of help. But there are some typical ones that you think of when you think of going to get some sort of counseling service. And those are usually LPCs, licensed professional counselors, licensed clinical social workers, LCSWs, psychologists, and psychiatrists. So I'm going to talk about those just a little bit. These are very brief descriptions. They're not meant to go into a great deal of depth, but to give you a little bit of an idea of what the differences are. I have some notes down here, so forgive me if I'm looking back and forth. So let's start with the LPC. That's what I am, a licensed professional counselor. We're required to have a master's degree, and after our degree, we're then required to have supervised hours that we go to another licensed therapist who has been a therapist for a while. They have the supervision credential, and they can kind of supervise us through our first 3,000 hours of practice. We are able to work with clients, but we are a licensed professional counselor intern for those first 3,000 hours until we get our permanent license after completing all of those hours, in which case we can then be a private practitioner and go out and be in private practice or work at a clinic or wherever that work is. The license gives us permission and the ability to work in the mental health field and do counseling. We're often referred to as counselors or therapists or a psychotherapist or something like that. Then there are licensed clinical social workers or LCSWs. LCSWs and social workers have a slightly different philosophy in their education. It's a little bit different approach to the kind of work that we do, but it's very similar to an LPC. They also have to have a master's degree. They also have to have supervised hours after they complete their master's degree, and when they get their full license, they are then able to go into private practice as well, work in clinics and things like that. But there are a couple different paths they can choose, which one is based more on like care management and case management, and the other is more clinical, like counseling and direct services. That's kind of the big difference for the social worker. Then we move on to the psychologist. The psychologist has to have a PhD in their profession. They also have supervision and education requirements. They are then licensed by their own board, and the big difference for them is they're more involved in testing and research. They do predictive testing, which the counselors and LCSWs don't do or are not able to do. They have the authority to also do individual counseling, but it's less common and more common for them to do the predictive testing and research. So then there are psychiatrists. Psychiatrists have a medical degree and are physicians. The big difference for these guys are that they can draw blood work and write prescriptions for medications. Their work tends to be more clinical and medical, and they are more focused on mental health disorders and mental health issues, which are treated medically. So those are kind of the big four: licensed professional counselor, licensed clinical social worker, psychiatrist, and psychologist. Not in that order, I just did them differently. But those are the big four that you'll hear about often when you're looking for mental health professionals. If you have any other questions about those, I know these are very brief descriptions, please feel free to reach out to us at our YouTube channel, or feel free to reach out to us at our website, which is austincts.com. Thanks for watching, and we sure appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions, please reach out. Look forward to talking to you. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.